The Meraux family is the governing body of DuPont Falls. They protect from corruption, discrimination, and abuse of power. They provide structure, order, and support. Nothing moves in or out of the city without their say so. They reign supreme, but even they have rules to abide by. Family preservation is the most important. They will do anything to preserve it. Gianni is stubborn and stuck in a complicated situation. Tyson is misunderstood and driven by pain. Macklen is an introvert who's constantly stuck in the middle. He happens to fall for the one woman he can't have. Follow this family on a wild ride of secrets, revenge, and love. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Bibliophile Bookcase. I am your host, Erica the Bibliophile, and we are here to discuss another book by Kaylyn. It's been a while since I've read one of her books, but this is, I'm saying Meraux, because it's Meraux. So Meraux Mafia, No Ordinary Love. This was a nice book, so let's hop right into it. Okay, so we are first introduced to Halo. Halo is our main character of this story, and she has two friends by the name of Namani and Denim. Now we are at Halo's. Is this the wedding? The rehearsal for the wedding. So she goes looking for her fiance because I guess with planning a wedding, it's stressful. It's just like I need a break from all these people. Let me go find my man. So she goes looking for her fiance and she finds Marcel kissing somebody else. And when he sees that she's caught him, he's like, let me explain. She's like, no, there's nothing to explain. The wedding is off. So it's just like, what the fuck? We got all these people. And she goes out and back to the rehearsal and everybody can see her crying. It's like, what the hell is going on? And Marcel tries to grab her and it's like, nothing, it's just we gonna work it out. She's like, we not working out nothing. This wedding is off. It's completely off, and basically fuck you and don't talk to me no more. And so then we're introduced to Gianni, who is a part of the Meraux Mafia, and they live in DuPont Falls, and basically like they run the Falls area. Like everybody knows who they are, wants to be a part of their family, is constantly trying to trap one of them or get together with one of them, whatever. But he is approached by his cousin Solana, who, even at 28 years old, she's not allowed to go out by herself. She has to have a chaperone of some sort. So her brother already told her no. Her other cousin already told her no. So she's coming to Gianni because they're like real close, quote unquote, each other's favorite. So she knows if she came to him, he would tell her yes. So of course, at first he's like, no, but she's like, come on, I can't go out without you and I need somebody there and I don't get to do anything. So I want to do this. And so because he understands, because it's the way of their family, he also like feels bad for his cousin simply because she's a woman. She cannot go out by herself, which is bullshit. But we're gonna get into that. And it's families like this, even without the money status, whatever you want to call it. Like people really think this way, but we're gonna get into it. So, around this time, I think like Halo had been crying. She's all torn up about the fact that she's no longer getting married and she's like no longer in a relationship. But Naomi and Denim come over like, girl, you done stayed and cried in this bed for days now at this point. Get your ass up. We getting up and we going out. And she's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Like she wasn't eating or anything. And her mom was like real life concerned about her. So when her friends came in, they like, bitch, I'm willing to fight you. You're getting out of this bed and we're going out. Cause it's just like, enough is enough. You've cried your tears. Let's go. And so, of course, at this party, it's in DuPont Falls. So this is where Halo meets Gianni. And it was innocent at first, like a little flirting. They saw each other from across the room. But then she like walks up on him and says, please help me, and kisses him. So of course he's thrown off guard because it's like, yeah, I said you was fine from across the room, but you just walking up on me, putting your lips on me. What the hell? But of course, because he doesn't know who Marcel is and just sees another man like approaching her, he plays the role. So, but Marcel walks up like, damn, we just broke up and you already got somebody else. And Gianni's like, you know who I am, you know what I do, so you might want to move around. And Marcel like actually works for Gianni and his family, so it's like, yeah, play your role. You know exactly who this is and what will happen to you. And so that gets Marcel to walk away. Now they I think Gianni had either got them a section or invited him into his section. I can't remember. But Denham ended up getting drunk. Like drunk to the point where they got in the car and she threw up on the side of the car. So Gianni is like, man, I can't let y'all drive like this. um And then it was supposed to be like the designated driver for the night, and that bitch got drunk. So he's like, I'll put y'all up in the hotel for the night, sleep this off, and then y'all can go about y'all way. So at first she's like, nah, I can't let you do that. He like, I'm offering, and basically I'm not letting no one, like, I'm not letting y'all leave like this. Excuse me. So there, Naomi and Denham are in one room, and Gianni and Halo are in another room, and they end up having sex that night because the chemistry is just that bomb. And he also told her because he could tell that she was still in her feelings about it because excuse me, yeah, she told him like a little of the backstory, but he told her. Let me see if I can find a quote because I really liked it. I should have had it on on deck. So give me a second. But I thought it was so cute though. Did I bookmark it? I could have swore I did. Why do I not be ready? Right. Okay. So here we go. Okay, can we go to this? So, what was this pertaining to? I think this was like right before they have sex, cause he asked her if she was all right, and so she says, "I'm more than all right," and he tells her, "quote." So act like you're somebody's prayer. Don't be crying behind no nigga, especially one who didn't love you right. End quote. Pertaining to myself. I'm. I can definitely be taken with words. I'm sorry, cause that act like you're somebody's prayer. I'm like, nigga, you know what? Let's just let's just get into it. Anywho, so yeah, so they have sex, and she get up and go back to her quote unquote city because she don't stay in DuPont Falls, and Gianni only told her that his name was G. Like they didn't exchange information or nothing like that. So it's like 3 months later after that fact, and um Halo found out that she was pregnant. Of course it's Gianni's, but like I said, they parted ways, not having each other phone number, and he only told her that his name was G. So she has business in DuPont Falls, and when she goes there, of course, who does she happen to run into but Gianni? And I forgot to mention before that, Gianni had like a quote unquote first love or whatever by the name of Kiera, who really thought he was cheating or would attempt to cheat and just did not believe in their relationship. And she left, but she left, moved away, didn't want to keep in contact with him. And then she came back. So they were reconnecting and getting to know each other again. But as soon as Gianni saw Halo and saw that belly, first of all, he was upset. He like, you got something you want to tell me? And she's like, at first she was like, no, because it's just like I had no way to get in contact with you. Like, not really. But it's almost like he felt like she planned this, but she does not know who he is and like how quote unquote important he's supposed to be to DuPont Falls and like who his family, like she don't know nothing about that. But of course, because in I feel like in their section of the world where they're so important where they are, they expect everybody to know who they are like as a family. And it's like she don't even know your last name. So even if she even if you had reason to think she was plotting on you, she didn't even know your name. Like she don't know that. But he leaves. He was supposed to be shopping with Kiera, but he gives her some money, like, here, take this, and I'll explain everything to you later. And so he's like, is that my baby? And she's like, yeah. But of course, like, you want a DNA test, whatever, we'll get that all solved. And the thing with their family, there are no outside children. So if you get someone pregnant, that is not your, of course, speaking like as a man, that's your spouse. So he's pissed because if this is his baby, he now has to marry her. And so she, it's so funny because he really thought like she plotted on. She's like, I'm not married. I don't even know your name. Like at this point, she's like, I don't even know your name. So what are you talking about? She's like, when I left you, you told me your name was G, and that's it. And so when he reveals who he is, she's like, okay, like I'm not married. I don't care what your family say, what y'all got going on. Like I got a job, I got a life, my friends, my mom. Like, I'm not, first things first, nigga, I don't know you. I'm not marrying you. And he's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. So he goes to have the conversation with his daddy. What his dad, excuse me. Men don't call their father's daddy, whatever. Um, and his dad is like the head honcho, and he has two brothers who are basically like his right hand man. And Gianni is also dealing with the fact that like between him, his cousin Tyson, and his cousin Macklen, who they are sons of the brothers, somebody is gonna be taking the spot soon. Like they're gonna become the head boss in charge. So it's like now I got to think about that while also running whatever business he was running. And now I got this baby possibly got a baby on the way. So when he tells his dad this, his dad is like, well, you know what you got to do. Are you sure this is even your baby? Whoop whoop, whatever. And does she know what's about to happen? And so he tells his dad, like, I don't know if it's my baby yet. We don't know. We got to do a DNA test. Anyway, the daddy ends up kidnapping her. And, oh, excuse me. And tell her, like, I'm so sorry, but this is just the way the things work. And during that time, I think it was like 2, 3 days, Gianni was going crazy because he was texting her, like calling her and getting no response from her whatsoever, thinking that she just done ghosted him, not knowing that his daddy and his cousin Tyson got her locked up until the DNA test was done to prove that that was Gianni's baby. Because Gianni was prepared to do the DNA test, excuse me, but his dad, Ross, went and got a doctor and brought them in to do the blood work and use his, but he's like, I'm the next of kin or like the closest of kin, whatever. So we're gonna do it through me. And so when they find out that it is Gianni's baby, then they tell him where she been at all that time. So and he even fought his daddy because he's like, man, where the fuck is, at that point he was calling her his girl. He's like, man, where's my girl at? Like, why is y'all playing these games? Where is she? And so the dad said, like, basically, you can calm down. I did what needed to be done. And it's like, okay, first of all, let's pull over right here. Because, first of all, you kidnapped the girl. Let's start right there. Like, you kidnapped her. And if I didn't, so let's say she does like agree with the fact that she finally has to get married and come into this family. Like, you started off this relationship so fucking shitty, my guy. Like, and that's another thing that pissed me off, but we gonna get there too. Because I guess I hold grudges. I don't believe in letting shit go. So, well, let me just say it now. So at some point they become cool, like quote unquote family, but I'm just like, how? Looking at the nigga who kidnapped me just to make sure that my child was his son's actual child as well. I'm never gonna be cool with you. Like, she had already had plans to have a DNA test done. We didn't fucking need you, Paw Paw. But anyway, so when Gianni goes to get her, of course she's pissed. Like, she's swinging, she is fighting, she is pissed off because it's like, what the fuck do y'all got going on around here? And so they get married, even though it's like both against their will, but it's just like, we gonna make it work. And maybe later on down the line, you might fall in love. That's what Gianni told her. Well, Gianni was sure. He was like, I know pretty soon you gonna be falling in love with me. I ain't even worried about it. She's like, are you sure about that? He's like, absolutely, girl. Like, you are gonna love me. And you're gonna love me. I ain't even gonna do it. Man. Okay, I'm sorry. So, oh, they come to find out which Gianni and Tyson, like, they're close, they're family or whatever, but them niggas don't like each other on the low. But Tyson was a fucking hater because I guess, like, quote unquote, who hit it first, who had her first. Tyson slept with Kira first. Like, they had a little on the low thing going on until Tyson he went to jail. So after he went to jail, Kiera then gets with Gianni. So, and that was technically the quote unquote real relationship. So when he came home to see them in a relationship together, Tyson felt some kind of way. But it's like, but you never said anything to the man about the fact that you had relations with Kiera first. Like, y'all never said anything. But after, he got married to Halo, then Tyson and Kiera start sleeping together again. Because Kiera's in her feelings. And Tyson had to realize, because he thought he was doing something, but who I think it was Macklen who made him see, like, she's just doing this, like, using you to get over the fact that she cannot have Gianni. So when he came to that realization, then he cut off the relationship with her. But then cutting off the relationship with her, Kiera finds out that she's pregnant. So they have to get married. But the thing about that is they're married because they don't love each other. It was really just sex, and now there's a baby involved, and he knows that she still has feelings for his cousin. But their relationship is turning out to be just like his parents' relationship. That is a loveless marriage. His dad gambles all the time and does spend up all the money. And his mom is an alcoholic because she has to deal with the fact that she's in a loveless marriage. And when these women become married into this family, it's like they have money and things at their disposal, excuse me, but they don't do anything. Like, they basically have no life. They don't have jobs, they don't do nothing. They're just now known as being Mrs. Meraux. And so it's just like, and these niggas, they're young, so they don't do nothing but party, probably have sex with multiple women. Like, they're just living their lives. But now this is the real deal. And somewhere along the line, Gianni and Halo, like, fell in love, and like they're just like the it couple now who know shit about relationships, and they got the baby and whatever. Because it's just like, out of nowhere, it went from, we're gonna be friends and we're gonna try this out, to I love him. And it's like, bitch, wait, when did this happen? How did we get here? Nobody knows, but they're in love now, and everybody's just watching their relationship blossom. And then, well, oh yeah, remember I said how the dad was stepping down and they didn't know who was gonna take over? So Ross and his brothers figured that they would now rule as a trio, like all together, instead of somebody actually being the boss and the other two being below that too. And Tyson, because his daddy had came to him for $1 million, like, I need $1 million to help me out with this situation. And Tyson had told him, like, I'll give you the money, but you got to put in a word for me to be the head boss. But it's just like, I could tell by how Tyson acted, he would have only been a boss in title. Like, you're not that type of person to run nothing or to be like the head boss in charge. He would have been, oh, okay, I'm sorry to do this, but what is it? I love Siobhan. Siobhan Latrice's book, Who Boys Fall in Love Too, which I have never done. I might review that too. That, like, how the older brother, he was in charge, but it was literally just entitled. He didn't do nothing. He didn't know how to do his job. That would have been Tyson. Anyway, so Macklen, who he's really like an introvert. He has to play mediator between the two. He don't really go out. He about his business and he be at home chilling. So he falls in love with a bartender who has a daughter, and their relationship, it was weird because he knew he was feeling her and she liked him too, and he knew that she had a daughter. He was like, I don't care nothing about that. I want y'all, but as I guess a part of the family, you could not be with a woman who already has a child. Like, that's, I didn't get it. I this family dynamic, because it didn't make sense. It's just like, what is the purpose? Because it says family preservation is the most important, but it's like this family is shitty. The dad kidnaps people just to see if they're related to each other when the test was already in place. One brother is a gambler and who sent his son away to cover for himself. And that's why Tyson and Solana, they are brother and sister. And it's just like, now y'all see why we fucked up, because look at our life. Y'all just looking out, like looking from the outside in and just like, oh, that's just how the family is. But it's like, we had to deal with this man growing up and then still dealing with the fact that our mom is an alcoholic who drinks herself into a stupor just so she can basically feel something, because it's like, otherwise she has nothing. And you have to stay married. Like, there's no such thing as divorce. So when you get married, you also cannot get a divorce. So being in a loveless marriage where you have no job, you do nothing, and you have to look at the person that you're married and there's nothing there, like, yeah, we're the fucked up family. Y'all just sat by and watched and nobody did anything. Because at some point, Ross, I think, apologizes to Tyson. Like, as your uncle, I should have stepped in and did something instead of just watching. It was crazy. I'm just like, I don't get the family dynamic. But anyway, Macklen ends up proposing to, I forgot her name and I feel so bad. But before that though, so sorry. Lord. It's just this is a good book though. So Halo, okay, Gianni is doing business with a man named Trent. Come to find out that Trent is Halo's father, but she does not have a good relationship with him because he was married and he had sex with Halo's mama when she was 16, and when she ended up getting pregnant, he really didn't want nothing to do with the baby because he didn't want his wife to find out. So at some points in her life, he would see Halo, but it's like his quote unquote family never knew about her. So Halo was like, I'm not gonna be your dirty little secret. If you can't love me out loud, don't love me at all. So she has cut off contact with him. So being with Gianni and then having to see her father, it opened up old wounds. And then Trent had a son named Trent Jr. And Trent and Marcel were like friends and working together or whatever. And eventually the cat came out of the bag. Also, I'm assuming like when she left, Halo took $20,000 from Marcel, I guess for her pain and suffering. And the big like whoop de doo about her finding him kissing somebody is the fact that Marcel was kissing a man and he didn't want that out there. So I'm assuming she took the $20,000. Like, what you gonna do about it? Just either chalk this up or I'm gonna tell your secret. And so Gianni kept telling him like, y'all better find my money. And he knew that she took it, but he's like, I don't care. Like, you're not gonna touch her. You're not gonna do nothing to her. But where's my $20,000? Excuse me. And so Marcel told Trent Jr. and Trent Jr. is like, your bitch took it, so get it back from her. And at some point, Gianni told him like, that's your sister. And Trent Sr., he was trying to go out without telling at all. Because even when they all had the big old meeting, they looking at him like, so you just not gonna say nothing? And it was kind of messed up because Trent Jr., like, he didn't know that. And at the end, um, I forgot the daughter name, but so Trent Jr. and the daughter, like, they wanted to have a relationship with Halo. And it's like after all this time, she didn't know. Because she was like, I don't know what to do because I did not want to be a secret. So it's like now that the cat is finally out of the bag, I also don't want to force this relationship, and I kind of don't want to have nothing to do with them. But where I was going with that was one night, they had like a party or whatever, but then they were standing outside, and so it was Halo, Macklen's girl, like basically the whole crew standing outside or whatever, except for Gianni, because Gianni wasn't that close to Halo. But anyway, somebody drives by, right? And boom, 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 get the bus. So Tyson covers Halo, but Macklen's girl, she gets shot. So during that time, he took her daughter to Halo. So Halo was watching her until she recovered. And so that was the thing, like they kind of quote unquote bent the rules for him so he was able to be with her, because just based off the fact that she had a child already, they weren't going to be able to get together and couldn't be together. But yeah, so they got engaged and got married, and Tyson married Kiera, and Gianni and Halo, they just in marital bliss throughout this whole book. Like, we got this shit down pat. We good to go. Whoop, whoop, bam. So, yes, that is No Ordinary Love, Meraux Mafia. It was really good. I really want y'all to pick up this book because it was just like, child, just so much going on, but it was so good. Kaylyn, you did your thing with this girl. But the one thing I will say, and I said it already, but I just want to reiterate, they really fell in love out of nowhere. It's just like, girl, we didn't build up or nothing. It's like they had a couple conversations where it's like, you gonna love me. And then next thing you know, it's just like, I love him. And it's like, wait, hold on, time out. How, in the words of Deborah Cox, how did you get here? And I feel like y'all took the bus because it was real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up. I thought that was so clever. But anyway, yes, that's the end of today's episode, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people.